Ustream, what are you doing to me? Alright guys, this episode's even super specialer because it may not happen. Because Ustream is in a mood right now. So we can cut out at any second. Who knows? This is very exciting. You can take your bets now. Say what time you think it's going to crash. And then if you win, you get a bunch of money and something like that. How's everyone doing? The chat is open. The text is here. This is, remember in the early days of Shenanigans Live when trying to open the chat is what killed the show? Guess what just happened? That just happened. Flux Fox is here. What's up? I think Cooper Design might be here. Maybe. I'm on the air though now. I see a WB. Stands for Wub. Or what's up, bro? Something like that. Welcome to Shenanigans Live again. If you're watching a commercial, that's great. Unfortunate for you. Here is our late night super duper episode. If you guys have any questions or comments, you're the only ones running the show. If Flux Fox is the only one here in the audience at the moment, you're officially my co-host. So if you have any topics, be sure to throw them my way. But I will also, it stands for welcome back. I am corrected. Ooh, I'm getting messages too. Let's see what these messages are. Maybe they will entertain you fine folks at home. No, and no. Okay, so we'll deal with that later. How you guys doing? It is Wednesday. I just got off one of my, usual 12-hour shifts. Here we are at late night. Welcome to the show. Flexbox claims to have unlimited power. Excellent. Good. So, what you guys want to talk about on this fine evening? Maybe we will learn about promoting a show. So do this. I'm going to do a little thing where I copy and paste all of this show onto the Twitters and stuff. You stream Shenanigans Live. And you guys at home can do it too. Even if it's not live, you can promote this show and have more people stop on by and say what's up and how's it going. Alright, copy this. Go and open the Twitter. As you may notice, Katie's not here because she's up in cottage country enjoying beaches and good stuff like that. And as you may also notice, I am not. Alright, Twitter. Time to find out what you're made of. And if chat's open as always. How you guys doing? This past week actually was, sorry for the lackluster opening, but you're all watching commercials anyway. This past week was the not Harry Tarantula, Silver Snail, the other bug-based comic shop, which I didn't realize until now. Interesting. The Silver Snail move was going on this past week. Was it the weekend? Yes, weekend, and I was there! And if you follow my Twitter, you can probably tell I was there. Let's just post this in the Twitter right now. Come on! Nothing's working for me today. Computer at work crashes, this crashes. Hey all, Shenanigans Live is all live like late night. Bonk. And if you're following the Twitter right now, it's like an interactive story because you see it happen when you see me talking about it. Hey all, Shenanigans Live is live like late night. I should also post on the Facebook. See, this is what happens when you just rush into the door and make a show happen. But yeah, the Silver Snail move happened, and that was quite interesting. And it wasn't, technically it actually wasn't even a move. It was more of a symbolic gesture of movement, wherein that we had a big pile of boxes all outside the store, and we had people stationed at different spots down the street, because it was meant to be a bucket line where you actually literally hand one box to the next person, then to the next person, the next person. It made it all the way from the Queen and Soho area street intersection all the way over to Yonge and Dundas, where the new Silver Snail will be opening eventually, because it's not open yet and they're still working on it, and for all they knew or know, they told me it might not open until next year. So still check out the old Silver Snail while you're over there. You don't want to miss it while it's still here, because it is our heritage. It is our landmarks. Flexbox saying that's actually cool that the line went the whole way. Damn right it did. Granted, some people had like less space in between them, and some people had more. I had to like, I was stationed right outside the black market store. That's where my bucket list position was. So people would like hand me a box, and I'd run it over to the next person. And this CBC News came out for this too, because this whole thing was more of a news thing. It wasn't really an official move, because the only thing that was actually in the boxes was the prizes we were going to give ourselves, which I'll tell you about in a second, and I'll also tell you why Doctor Who's a big dick. Uh, but that also had video footage. But basically, yeah, it was a symbolic gesture of like we're moving the snail, and then all the boxes ended up in the. We actually went into the Ryerson University District. That's where I used to go to school when I was a young man once, and just around the pond, everyone would line up, and we'd all get where the pile was, and the 501st were there, the stormtroopers, and a bunch of the big Doctor Who TARDIS was there too, actually full size, so you could go inside it if you were allowed to, I guess. And we were all lined up to find out because everyone was given names. Everyone was given like a barcode and a code name as soon as they showed up. And I was Sherlock Holmes as a part of this group, which was pretty cool, I guess. Everyone else had comic names or obscure references that no one knew. But then at the end, with this barcode, we all lined up for Doctor Who to use his sonic screwdriver and scan and say winner or loser. And like 5-6 people in front of me all got winner, and I didn't. Because Doctor Who's a dick. Yeah, that sonic screwdriver is rigged. Oh, well, that's my story about Doctor Who. So I'm just going to quickly go over to the Facebook. If you're wondering, and if you're actually watching this show and aren't on the Facebook, you should go to the Facebook. It is, of course, Shanna Hannigan's over on the Facebook. No, passwords. I'm just going to post here, too. Yeah, and who else we got here? We have supposedly we had like 2 people here. Let's see who's on the show. Our late night viewers. Oh my gosh, it's like Flux Fox and guest. Well, whoever else is here, if you want to join the chat, be sure to do so because you have the power to change the course of this late night production. Yeah, look at this page. Shanna Hannigan. It's so fun. Show's live. Live now. Boom. Ha! Let's see where that gets me. Alright, 3 viewers. It's working. The C promotion works, guys. You gotta do this. Was it anyone actually watch this show from Toronto? Would you guys even know what the Silver Snail is? Have you ever been? Because, well, speaking of Toronto, actually, also coming up tomorrow, yeah, starting tomorrow, is Fan Expo, which is basically Toronto's Comic-Con for, it pretty much is the exact same thing. It has all the same stuff, it's just a little smaller. Creed Porpoise just showed up. What's going on, Creed Porpoise? Fan Expo, starting tomorrow. It's all comics and video games and movies and toys and candies and special guest appearances and stuff like that. And Katie's going to be there, of course. She has a table. She's going to be in the artist alley somewhere. She has a map somewhere. You can check that out. That's going on. It's on the Shan Hannigan's Facebook page. You can find all the information there. I may be going. I'm not sure just yet. If I do, it'll probably just be Saturday because I got other stuff to do. So definitely, if you're in Toronto, that's going on. Same time, of course, Busker Fest is just a little east. So if you're like sick and tired of all these comics and fun, you can head down into the area over there where that stuff is, St. Lawrence Market area, and you can see a guy juggle a chainsaw or two and get a funnel cake while you're at it. So it's a good time, really good weekend. I remember a couple years back, this weekend, Fan Expo weekend, was one of the best ones ever because on the exact same day that we all went, Video Games Live, the traveling live show for video game music, was performing that night too, over at the theater over that way, near Yonge and Queenish. And it was just such a perfect night because it's like, day of the convention, and let's end it with a performance. And even better was we had like, we were in the top, so we had like top balcony, but we were like front center. Somehow we got those seats even though we bought our tickets pretty late. It was a really good show. If you haven't gone yet, do check out Video Games Live, traveling music show. It will be greatness for you. Anywho, so what are we going on here? It's still up in the air. I'm allowed to come home for Saturday. Bosses are jerks. Yes, Flex Fox. Such is the way, because Saturday, alright, I'll give you guys a little taste of tradition. Every year, well, at least I try, in August, to celebrate the end of summer and the end of quality movies, I've been hosting this thing. I missed 2 years because I lived in a place without a backyard, called Horrible Movie Night. And the way Horrible Movie Night works is, and this is, like, you're probably thinking, oh, they watch Troll 2 and stuff. Like, no! It's way too mainstream, you guys, and you're trapped in the closet, and you're The Room, and you're Troll 2. No! We take it further. Horrible Movie Night, the way it works is you get yourself a projector of some sort. It's usually better for this because it's outdoors. It's always out. The official annual Horrible Movie Night is outdoors. Hopefully you have like a backyard or a deck or something like that. You get a projection screen or get some cloth, whatever. Borrow a projector from the local, wherever the hell. I used to borrow it from a school. You can also, like, if you know someone. And the gimmick, the catch of this is not just like I have a bunch of crappy movies, which of course I do, but the challenge is you tell everyone else, you know, you bring the movies and you gotta pitch it to the audience, and the audience will vote for it right then and there. If you're lucky, you might get 2 films in. But that also helps kind of to bring a certain amount of diversity to your or variety to your collection of what could potentially be watched, because everyone has different tastes in what's awful. And there is, of course, you got to be careful because there's so bad it's bad. You don't want that. You want so bad it's good. It's very fine range. This is why horrible movie night is a tricky thing. But for the most part, we've been pretty successful. The first few years, we watched a lot of the early Peter Jackson films, like oh gosh, Dead Alive, and Bad Taste. Those 2 are pretty awful and great, good. Then we saw. Oh, what's it called? Like Metal Wolf Chaos. It's like this weird zombie rock and roll martial arts movie with a catch and some angel transvestite. There's a lot going on in that film. You gotta rewatch it. And the most recent one from last year, we watched Ricky-O. And just to give you the elevator pitch, it's about a dude who can punch holes in people. He's so strong. It's like based in a jail, and it's based on a manga, I think, but set in a jail and starts punching. Another highlight is some guy fights him with like knives, and he gets his arm cut, and so he can't really use it. So to fix it, he grabs his tendons and re-knots them back together, and all's good. So that's horrible movie night. You're gonna whenever you host one of these, and the best part is if you're the host, all you gotta focus on is just making sure the projection works and there's enough chairs and food and stuff, so you can play host. It's fun for that, but you don't gotta worry about the content because it's the audience fault if the movies suck, because you gave it, you told them to bring it, you told them to vote on it, so it's twice their fault. And there's some other great classics we saw, like we watched the Doom, the movie based on the classic video game Doom, with the last 6 minutes being in first person, which is just a treat. You gotta check that out if you haven't seen it yet. We saw Godzilla Final Wars, which is a fascinating, if you haven't watched any Godzilla, this is a classic because it basically throws in every Godzilla boss ever. And well, it's weird because it's kind of like a mix between Godzilla and sexy Asian guys. And how this works is all these aliens kind of showed up, and they all have they're all of like this generation of like badass hair and too cool for school. If you've been in any like, I live in like Koreatown, so if you've been into any of these Korean restaurants where they play stage music videos, they all look like those guys. They have like the white hair and like the long coat. They basically look like Final Fantasy kids. This era of Square children, not like the. I don't mean Square like you have to be Square. I mean like Square Enix. And not the, the world ends with you kind of cool. More like the Final Fantasy long coats and long spiky hair kind of cool. So all the aliens look like these guys. So there's going to be some fighting too. So it's kind of twofold. There's really 2 stories in Godzilla Final Wars. There's the tale of Godzilla wrecking shit. And there's, of course, the sexy aliens who all look like Final Fantasy guys. And then there was like this American guy, I just remembered now, and he had like an eye patch. He looks like if you played like, oh god, is it Streets of Rage or one of those games, Hugo, or not Hugo, the name of the mayor. He's also in Marvel vs. Capcom. He looked like that guy. He's like had a mustache and he had a sword. He had a pirate coat and a sword and a mustache. He didn't have an eye patch. I was over exaggerating. Definitely Hagar. Thank you. Definitely something. So Godzilla Final Wars is a treat because once again, there's a certain level of stuff. It's an awful movie. Like Snakes on the Plane was an awful movie, but in a crowd, it was definitely worth it. I will never buy it and never watch it again, but I'm completely happy I was in theaters to see it when people start throwing snakes in the audience. Definitely something. And horrible movie night can be like that too. If you're hosting one, you can give handouts. Last year, since we were at Comic-Con that summer, and we collected a whole bunch of those inflatable Mass Effect blades, like I had a bunch of extra ones, so like I handed them out for like the newbies to be like, oh, welcome to horrible movie night. I got a couple other things I could probably hand out. I have a lot of stupid crap in this house. I can give away lots of things. We'll be good to go. But that's coming up this weekend for us. But you yourself, you should celebrate summer with some awful, awful crap. Beyond that, if once a year isn't enough for you, we can also do the horrible movie nights, which is I do these like sporadically throughout the year, random weekends. We'll just like watch bad movies of my choice this time because it's not a big, everyone votes. So when we first started, we went through all the video game fighting game movies, all the gems, except for Mortal Kombat, funny enough, because that was a good movie. Mortal Kombat was one of the best video game movies ever made, and that's undisputed. Annihilation is another story. We don't want to talk about that because it doesn't exist. But we watched the Tekken movie, which is a treat. Dead or Alive, yeah, that was something. I think the best of all would have to have been King of Fighters, though, because it was shot in Toronto. Got that local flair to it, and it's very obviously done so. And then we finished it off with the Street Fighter movie, which I never actually watched before. It was actually very good. It has some really witty dialogue, really well done. Horrible movie nights. If you're in town, stop on by, I guess. Otherwise, host your own. It's that easy. Just go to your dollar store and find some VHSs in the bin. That's like what we got. We got this movie called Box Borders, which is a documentary, I don't even know what it is, about these kids. It's kind of like basketball, but not really. About these kids who started this new trend in like Orange County or whatever of like taping cardboard boxes to skateboards and then like racing them, and then it became mainstream and stuff. It was actually pretty funny. Sometimes you find gems. You don't know. You do not know. How's everyone doing? It is 10:18. Whenever I say the time, you know I'm wasting time. But it's 10:18 in my world. I don't know where you're at. What did we talk about already? I posted earlier on Twitter that this was going to be a solo show, so I'm like, you guys, who do you want special guests to be? And I was going to set up some things like I did on previous shows. You know, I had John Laster on a show. That was great. Katie also special guested when she wasn't here. Weird. And I was going to have some guests for tonight, but then when if you're just joining us now, Ustream screwed me over nicely because when I tried to pop out the chat, it crashed everything, and that's why the show ended abruptly after the first 2 seconds. So no guests tonight, unfortunately, but hey, there's always the future, and I have ideas. I was gonna do a guest tonight. It's gonna be great, but Ustream said otherwise. And I know everyone's like, oh well, fine, move over to Google Chits and Chats, Google U Plus. I don't know what's called anymore. Google U. But it doesn't work. If you watched our history, every episode has failed. Holy crap, Weebot's here? There you go. Happy 10/18. Oh, it's 10/20 now. We can't celebrate Happy 10/18 anymore. Well, damn. Welcome, Weebot, to the show. If you're just joining us, we just talked about Toronto a bunch, like I do in all my shows. And special guests, how there was going to be one tonight, but Ustream didn't work, and so there isn't. But there was going to be. Because if I had to switch software, because I use the Cam Twist, which allows me to do screen capture and stuff, and then I turned it off and just use the native built-in. If I switch now, it'll probably cause some horrible demonish results, like that weird thing that happened if you followed that first episode when we tried Google Chits and Chats. Google Watch You. I don't know what's called anymore. Google Google One Me Plus, I think. Anyway, weird thing I've been kind of realizing as I've been doing 12-hour work days these days. To keep myself entertained, I decided to play like a bunch of stand-up comedy stuff like Patton Oswalt and Louis C.K. and sometimes go back to some David Cross, and recently started some Doug Stanhope. And I started to realize something. When did comedy, stand-up comedy, just become a series of complaints? Like an hour special is not. In the old days, in classics, like when you think comedy, there's like setup, punchline, laugh, setup, punchline, laugh, which is nice. But then after a while, just like listening to some of this recent stuff, I'm just playing a never-ending rant for a full hour, and there's definitely like some humor in it, but it's just like I'm not sure if it's like maybe stand-up comedy was always like this. I just never noticed, but it's just like if I can go through a whole album of a stand-up special and not laugh once, but still be like, oh, that was a very good point, but not laugh out loud at all. I'm like, is it stand-up? Is it comedy still? I don't know. This is something we've got to figure out for ourselves, because definitely like a Louis C.K. I can like laugh, cry. Like a Patton Oswalt, one of the first things I heard from him that got me just like literally crying. Like I'm not using the term literally, like I literally cried laughing. I mean, I really did. He did this bit about the Alvin and the Chipmunks record and how he'd play it in slow motion with his brother, and he reenacted it, and I was just crying laughing at this. It was so funny. But like I started playing some other guys because I'm like, oh, let's branch out and do some Doug Stanhope. I've heard his rants before on like Charlie Brooker's programs, Screen Wipe and News Wipe, when he brings them in, and he's very poignant, very intelligent, very cutting, but you know, it's good stuff. And then like Lewis Black or something like that, and it's just like I'm listening, and it's just never-ending complaining about, like, I'm sure stand-up has always been like a commentary, a social commentary, an observation of how we live and how it's all wrong, and thank you for telling us with a bit of a slant. But to a certain point, especially with Lewis Black, I'm just like, none of these are jokes. It's just an old, angry guy saying things, and he swears once in a while, which is nice. But even that doesn't perk my mind up anymore. I'm not like, oh, cussing. Like, I'm just so used to it. Like, I'm so desensitized that even, like, I don't know. It's weird. I was going to add more to that, but I'm not, like, trying to take them down a notch or nothing. I'm not trying to be like, no, they're not comedians. You shouldn't listen to them. But it was just this weird realization where I'm like, I went through 2 stand-up specials without laughing. But at the same time, I was like, oh, very good points. And it was just like, it feels more like, I don't know, like a speech or a complaint off or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I've lost the comedy within. But, you know, Fox saying each has their own style. And I'm glad everyone has their own style. But there's actually one point I want to make about all this. Because both Doug Stanhope and Lewis Black on the specials I watched, they basically opened both acts being like, people coming in here thinking this is going to be a comedy, like a regular show. I don't do that kind of thing. And then everyone's like, woo! But then that raises an interesting point where it's like, they both have to address that. What we do isn't your usual stand-up comedy or what you expect. You don't walk off the street and expect jokes. So I'm like, so is it still comedy then if they have to define themselves so distant from it to be like, this isn't Joe set up punchline. I'm going to complain about my wife on Valentine's Day of all things. And I'm just like, all right, I guess he's doing that. It's weird though, because I also wonder, like, if they weren't as well known as they are now, could they get away with something like that? Like, just get up and be like, I hate Valentine's Day. Oh boy, I tell ya. Oh yeah. You know, and you get the response. It's like the Hal Gallagher thing. Never really paid attention to much of his stuff. I don't know anything about it, but it's like, people would just go to the show knowing that a watermelon would get hit by a hammer. And that was all they needed. Don't know. Sorry for bringing you down, but these guys are bringing me down. I'm trying to work for 12 hours, for gosh sake. And, like, all it is meh, meh, meh. Complain about society. People shouldn't have children. Meh. I'm like, all right, I get it. I got you. Oh, well. Louis C.K. still great, though. I love his stuff. It is time for you guys to tell me what's going on, because I only have so many things to say. Unless you don't mind me saying the things that I say the way I say them. I can tell you about a defiant dog I saw the other day. See, this is my stand-up comedy routine now. That was this dog, see? Anyway, I was at the bus stop, and this isn't even like the greatest story ever, but I just found it humorous. What was it? There was... Oh, actually, Creepy says I once did sound for a Gallagher show. I actually don't know much about Gallagher, so I apologize if I generalize. He was kind of a jerk. Okay, screw that asshole. Anyway, so there's this defiant dog, see? I was at the bus stop, see? And this lady was walking this dog, see? So she's walking this is one of those big dogs that are like stronger than man. But you know, he's a cutie, he's little doggy eyes. And he's walking and she's walking, and then he just stops and sits down and stares at her. You know, and she's like, you know, everyone's watching, you know, don't make me look like an idiot, come on. And so he gives a little tug, and then the dog gets up, starts walking again. And then he just lies down on the ground and then looks up at her. Just like, what? And I just thought it was, you know, it reminded me that, you know, we should all challenge our masters or something like that. Take something away from that. See, this is why I don't do stand-up. That wasn't even meant to be a joke. But someone else could have taken that gold and made it better. I just thought it was funny. I find humor in things. And fail to tell you about it. What else is going on? Oh no, I'm like running out of those things I was going to say. Talk about that anime I was watching recently. Mom would appreciate that. He didn't smash anything. What's going on? People are saying things. Tell me what you're talking about in the chat. Help me out here. I'm alone. I have no one to play off of. You can all be my guest host today. You can say what the next topic is and I'll run with it. TV Dinner just joined us saying sorry I'm late. Minor medical emergency. Well, I hope everything's alright. yeah, take care of yourself first. This show is not terribly important, especially this episode. Katie's not here. She's not drawing things. Master Defiance is unprecedented by parents. Unappreciated. Oh, Defiance, yeah. The other people chatting. Haven't been in for a couple of weeks, but we have talked about Gravity Falls. Oh man, we've been talking about Gravity Falls all the time, man. I love that show. I haven't actually watched the recent episodes. Last one I saw was with the Manitors. I have honestly told everyone to watch Gravity Falls. It is the best show on TV right now. I am not making that up. It is one of the funniest things. When we were at Con Bravo, we kind of impromptu put on an episode halfway through, though. The one I keep talking about with the episode with the Duchess Approves bit. It's a convenience store episode. And just to show everyone. And everyone really got into it and like laughing at. In contrast to the stand-up comedy I was just telling you about, where I was dead silent through the whole thing, we were crying, laughing out loud at sequences with like the dolphin and stuff. And so if you haven't seen Gravity Falls, you definitely want to go check it out. It's really funny, really quick, really good art style. The opening sequence really well animated, and it's like Disney. It's a Disney show. What? But even for that, like a lot of jokes you don't think like a traditional Disney thing would, well, modern Disney thing would do anyway, because nowadays we're all so safe. But they sneak in a couple good things in there. Gravity Falls is definitely worth watching. You can check it out on the web too, because I have no idea where I'd watch it otherwise. It is damn funny. I gotta watch the one after the most recent one, or the most recent one. The other show I was watching, I may have told you guys about this before. It's called Sword Arts Online. It's the only anime I've like watched consistently in like 7 years. I've really kind of fallen off the anime wagon in a weird way. Sword Art Online, interesting, very interesting series. It's based on an MMORPG, massively multiplayer online RP role playing game, if you don't know. But like, you know, a few years in the future, with the helmet on, you know, you put on the helmet and you're like, I'm in the game, I'm in the game, kind of thing. So you really feel like you're in, you know, it's the best way an MMO would ever be. But there's a catch to this story, because everyone, it's not really a spoiler, it happens in the first episode, and it's the only way to explain the whole series. Everyone's trapped in it because the guy who actually programmed it, some sort of dick psycho, and he disabled the log out mode, and if your loved ones try to take the helmet off from the game in real life, there'll be like electro, neuro, whatever, and it will kill you. So you're trapped in the game, and the only way to get out is beat it. And if you die in the game, you die in real life too. So consider that. It's an MMORPG, so everyone has modern day sensibilities in their minds, I guess, but they're all dressed up in their swords, and they have their abilities and jumping and cutting and stuff and teleportation. And they're basically living in the RPG for real, because there's the only way to get out is to beat the game, I guess. Very interesting series, or at least it started off so. I'm not saying it went wrong. Hear me out. I just started noticing a trend. Basically, Fluxbox says it's dot hack done well. Dot hack done right is what this series. It didn't say it on the box. Like, it's not like coming up next. It's that show that's better than dot hack. So it may feel like that, but it's actually really intriguing, really interesting, and actually, to give it some credit, one of the most fascinating aspects of it is every episode kind of picks up like a few weeks or a few months later. Just to show how long people have been here, and also it's kind of constantly leveling up the main character, which is cool, because then you never know what kind of trick he's gonna pull, because he may have gained like a new ability, and to a degree this is actually a little more genuine than how anime usually does it. Usually in anime, especially stuff like Inuyasha and stuff, whenever the main character is in a bit of a pickle, that's the exact moment they gain their new special move, because you know it's like a musical. Their emotions are heightened so much that they have to sing. But in Yasha, it's like, my brother's gonna kill my girlfriend! Claw! And it's like super move. And you're like, okay. And that kind of happens quite a bit in anime. But I find it interesting in this show, because it's not like, what? I just released a new move. It's more like every time you rejoin with the main character, he's stronger, and you don't really know like what he's gone through, but you'll find out like gradually, and he'll reveal things and be like, I got this. And it's less convenient, but it's more believable to me in that way. It's stuff we didn't see versus someone conveniently gaining something. So very interesting narrative, and also it's got a lot of like interesting moral stuff where it's like, well, if we all kill the final boss, who keeps the ring? You know, and it's like, it's not like the biggest issue. I'm just saying it's kind of like something to consider. It's like, because you will die in this world if you're not strong enough. So like, do you give the item, the better item, to the weaker player, or do you give it to the stronger player and hope they beat the game and save everyone or something like that? You know, so it's very interesting series. We got Hannah K. No, saying whoa. So this is on now. Cool. Hey Shaggy, it's Hannah. That's insane. Wait, would it be Hannah von Hooklin, or is there a different Hannah? Sorry, there may be two Hannahs in my brain at the moment. We'll figure that out. Let's stay on the show and keep talking. The Swede. There we go. I haven't talked to you in a while, man. You post some nice stuff on Facebook every now and then. I'm like, hey. We gotta catch up. Let's talk about you. How you doing? Yeah, I wish I had more updates to be like, yeah, I've accomplished all those things I told you I would in life. Hey, I'm working again. That's enough. I could pay the rent. Laters. Doesn't even mean we're gonna talk later. Are you leaving the show? Like, saying later. I just want to see your face briefly. We'll catch up. We'll write lengthy emails and catch up. Man, I don't even remember I feel like every season we write a different email to each other, and then it's like, oh, in this past year, this happened, and this happened. And now I am, just like in that anime, I've leveled up, and I now have a secret sword move. Done. So Sword Art Online, if you just joined us, you don't know what series I'm talking about. It's a very fascinating anime, but if you're just joining us now, I just went through all the praises. Now we get to the part where I criticize the hell of it. One of the problems I have with it is, I've been loving it up until now, but then I started noticing that at first it seemed like this isn't like any other anime. It's like, you know, it's a bit like, I wouldn't say Gantz per se, but it's kind of got a bit of a death game element to it, but that's not really the focus of the series. Neither here nor there. The problem is it started becoming Master Stealth, random question. Do you own any swords? 1 second. Whoop. Okay, I'm back. So this little number here is my boken, I guess. It's like made of wood, pretty sturdy, and it's good at fending off bears. Right. This here is the Nerf. Not as good against bears, but people aren't as offended when you hit them with it. There you go. Ah, my nose is itchy now. Ugh. I'm allergic to swords and being stabbed by them. Not good for my health. Every man owns at least one. So no innuendo. No, there you go. I actually have a third one. The Buster's sword. Nope, not the Buster's sword. Gunblade. But it's kind of clunky and it's in the closet. Weebot says, well, I guess I'll never be a man. Dude, just get one of these Nerf swords, man. They're cheap. Anyway. I was on a trail of something before. I was going to say some things. Fan Expo question for you, sir. Do it! Andrew Murray. Wait, how do you do it again? Batman! Okay. Andrew Murray. What's up, Andrew Murray? Ask a question, sir, because without questions come no answers. No answers mean no entertainment. So the Kingdom 2. Will you have much to tell? Wait, would that be at Fan Expo? We'd be like, the big reveal! We were pretending not to work on it. It's done! We will be recording press. Oh, you guys are press now? Nice. We don't have, unfortunately, yeah, we don't got much to say about it right now. Our schedules are wacky, way crazy. It's written. I can tell you that much. I could tell you about other things I'm writing. There's I've been working on this giant mech series for a while. There you go. No, I'm gonna keep telling you about this. I won't tell you anything though. I'll just let you know that that's what I've been working on. And then recently, someone else, it was posted. The Con Bravo guys posted that someone else that they follow is like, I'm gonna make a kaiju series or one of those like, you know, like robot dude with a helmet. Well, not robot dude. It's like Ultraman, all that good stuff when a dude rides a motorcycle and has a helmet and then he jumps into a big robot. So apparently someone else is doing it too. So, but to be fair, I want to let you know now, I started writing mine a good half year ago. So I'm not copying anyone, I just felt like doing it. Okay, truth be told, I watched that the review from the guys with glasses, or Channel Awesome, whatever they call themselves. Was it Linkara, I think? And I talked about this way back when too, and he did like this whole retrospective cover of American Power Rangers, you know, how it was. And, that kind of inspired me a little bit, and I was like, oh, you know what? I've always actually, I've probably talked about this before, but watching that gave me this huge respect for Japan, because it's like all these years, they still stick to their guns and make giant robot shows. Unapologetically, they're just like, yeah, no, there's all these more popular things people are doing, and you know, reality TV came, went, and stuff, but you know what we still do all the time? Giant robot shows. And I'm just like, it's something that we never really had here. Like, we've had the translated stuff, which kind of picked up on its own. We had the Beetleborgs, as you say, and that did what it did, I guess. But it's like, we've never, after that phase, it was like, well, Power Rangers is kind of still going, but whatever, on to the next thing. And Japan just kept doing it. You know, and it wasn't even the Power Rangers review that inspired me, I think. It was also the, I posted it all back in the day. It was a trailer for like the movie or something. It was called like Grand Battle 132 or something like that. And it had like every Power Ranger ever in one camera shot when they all run in and look up and then it pulls out and then they all start rushing with swords and stuff. And I'm just like, this is like not even like a geeky thing or like a childhood nostalgia. I'm just like, in concept, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like the idea that you got together like 100+ people to put on badass, colorful outfits with swords and guns and all run. I'm just like, we have nothing like that here to compare with. And so that's why I felt like I should, you know, make one of my own. So that's coming up at some point because the whole thing was I had no money to do it. So now that, and by money I mean like you gotta pay your actors, and by pay your actors I mean feed them, because food is the most powerful form of currency in the acting world. So that's in the works. I've been writing it, and I'm kind of writing it in a simple way where I just want to like leave a bunch of holes and just be like something that can be like 5-minute episodes. And the cool thing with the Giant Mech series is I want to implement a couple different styles of doing it, because we can have like action figure sized things, you know, with the hands or without maybe. We can have people wearing a suit and impose them on the city in After Effects and stuff like that. Like, there's lots of ways to do it, and it's something I always want to try, because in truth, I've never actually done a video series that was like a full narrative, like episodic story. Like on the YouTube, there was always like some weird plot, maybe like with a can of, you know, Japanese coffee and Anne Hathaway and all that good stuff. But it was never like a sequential episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4. And I realized like all these years I haven't done that. How can I have not done anything episodic? Like written, I guess. Even most of my writing's been like one-off. It's like, oh, this is a anthology one-off and this is an anthology one-off. Like I don't. So I'm going to do this. And you're all invited, and I don't think I'm gonna like do like any Kickstarter or nothing for it. I just want to kind of keep it small and just be like, all right, let's just make this with whatever money I have, or with whatever we have around the house. That's how we always did it. You know, we run to Chinatown, we buy a couple props, we grab some cardboard. You know, it's that easy. It's that easy. So, you know, I'll turn to crowdsourcing when it's like we got to do the movie now. We have to up the scale. Because the series was so well received. We're going to make the movie of Shaggy's Robot series. That'd be interesting, though. It'd be fun to get back to production. It's been a while. I've been doing a lot of, like, work stuff with the After... You know, it's still using After Effects and all, but it's not production. It's not running around with costumes, you know. Say what you will about Show About Game Show, but that thing was damn fun to do, alright? We were running around the woods with wackier things than this, I tell you. You know, in winter and summer, it was silliness. We got paid to do it. It's like the best combination. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was fun to do. And I want that feeling again, you know? Being able to run around Shaggellion 2.0. That'd be nice. It's not called that, though. It's called something. I actually have a name. And it's also partly inspired by the Gundam Extreme Versus video game, if you've imported that from Japan. Which is basically, it's a fascinating game because essentially it's a fighting game. It's like a 2 versus 2, where you and a friend would then fight either the robots or other friends, and it's like a tournament kind of game, and it's pretty fun. And just me and a buddy, like we've been playing it. I just kind of like write the dumb things down that we say during it, so it's like genuine. You know, what other mediums can you like live the experience on your couch and then write about it? So like you can be a robot pilot And it's not like you're ripping off Gundam. It's just you are a pilot and you're saying things like, "Whoa, look out for those missiles, brosive." And you're like, "That's genius." And then you write that down and then you use it for your own thing because it comes from life experience. Being a mech pilot. Like a Street Fighter or Brawlish. It's actually 3D. You know, it's like over the shoulder, but it's a lock-on system. Not over the shoulder. Is it more center? It's fascinating though. Check it out. So it's like a 3D fighting game. But not like a 2v2 style. It's actually like you follow them around. It may as well be like a adventure action game like anything else, like God of War, but it's more arcade style and it has like button prompts. Even though it's 3D, there's still like directional based moves where you have to go like left in triangle versus right in triangle. So it's kind of, you know, very interesting. Robo Arena, sure. I haven't played that. I'm just assuming. Check it out though. It's like $100 if you want to import it though, or find it at Pacific Mall, something like that. Wait for that series. Speaking of crap coming out, that sounds awful. Tomorrow, actually, a new episode of Talking to the Camera is coming out because last night I stayed up till 3 to finish it because I wanted to get it done. And it is done, and it will be online. So happy day for you guys tomorrow or later tonight, depending how late you stay up. I'll be uploading it pretty much right after the show's over, which, depending on the comments, we'll see how long it goes. I don't know why I'm talking like that. 12-hour workdays do that to you. Kind of want to see this mech make the other mech punch itself while the pilot yells, "Quit hitting yourself." See? This is the kind of stuff we do, because you watch Power Rangers and you're like, oh man, you should have done this. That's kind of the core of my writing style. It's always me watching things and being like, you know what would have been funnier? You know, if they did this instead, and then you just, you know, cloud it in enough originality that no one knows where it came from, man. Nah, it's an inspirational style, right? Where it's just like I think it's like genuine, where it's like you see things and you're like, oh, this would have been funnier if it was done like this. So in a way, it's kind of a parody, but it's hard to like point out every little joke you'd make to be like, this came from this, and this came from this, and this came from this, and everyone up to speed. Okay, good. So I don't know. Take inspiration where you find it. And if you want to be on the show, hell, I need as many extras and actors. You know, even if you don't want to act, just be a guy, like a technician who's walking around and just going like, woo, I fixed it, you know, and then the mech's ready to go. And it's going to be set in Toronto, damn it. Neo-Toronto. Neo-Canada. And just to tell you how cool Neo-Canada is, they updated the flag. It's got a drop shadow on it now. Behind the leaf. So check out that show. That's coming up. I'm kind of just writing it slowly. But it's going to be fun and weird and just full of in-jokes. And I think, you know, it would also be interesting if we kind of did it kind of loosey-goosey, so like suggestions could be added where it's like every other week it's like, I don't like this character, kill him. I hope it doesn't come to that, but it's like we could like implement like stuff if we did it like open enough. It wouldn't be a weekly show then, that'd be ludicrous. I got a text from Heather saying, hi. If you're on the show, sign in and chat. Gee willigers. You guys up at the cottage with your laptops and your internet, or you're at a cafe or coffee shop near a carnival on the beach? Whilst I waste away, slaving to the hours of my finance. Related in G Falls. I love when the boat with the huge glass just crossed specifically. Oh, yeah. Yes. I don't want to spoil that. Okay, fine. There's a scene. This is why Gravity Falls is the funniest damn show. There's like a chase going on with like the Loch Ness or like the lake monster. And during the chase, there happens to be two guys on a boat with a sheet of glass taking it across the river because, you know, you gotta... I love that show. Gravity Falls is so damn good. We got Gene! I shouldn't yell at the mic. Sorry. Hey, dude, I'm working on freelance while listening to you. All right. Gene, what you working on? Maybe we can help. Draw it a little to the right. There you go. That's better. Man, we got a huge crowd tonight. This is crazy. Are you guys like better for 10, 11 o'clock shows, or is it just like I'm painting a zombie board game? Holy crap! That's pretty cool. Is that a Kickstarter thing? Or is it like you just doing it because it's awesome? A lot of zombie things. There's that zombie grade school game that someone came out with, a video game, and the concept art looked really nice for it, and other people were like, meh! But, you know, concept art looked nice. So it's kind of like kids, with like a zombie infestation happens, either at or on or during school, And so like you pick, it's kind of like Left 4 Dead, but grade school. It was weird, but no, we'll see what happens. No, it was actually work. That sounds like fun. If work was fun, it wouldn't be called work. It'd be called fun. Same here, Proto. Was everyone just working today? No, I went to sleep, then I went back to the studio. Oh gosh, we bought money. I know that feeling though. That was me last night though, because I was working on an episode of, if you're just joining us, Talking to the Camera, and I finished it, so that should be up later. If you enjoy Disney films, this may be up your alley. Just saying. You might enjoy it. And there's another episode I filmed on the same day because I tried to combo it. I only did 2 though because I couldn't write 5 episodes. The ones I want to do were getting way too complicated because they've required a lot of resources. They're really good though. They're like the best episodes ever. But I don't know if I can make them just because they take a lot of time finding like visuals and stuff like that. But that's coming up later tonight if you're going to stick around, or if you just go sleepy time and you wake up tomorrow to find the glorious video in your YouTube linky links. So check that out. Channel is Shaggy Shan, like YouTube/user/Shaggy Shan, or just look up Shaggy Shan and you'll find me, and I'll be yelling at you whenever you want. Lovely. What we got going on in the chat? Lots of stuff going on in the chat right now. We got Katy Perry. Rubbish in every language, says Proto Wilson. It's rough. It's rough. Katy Perry ads. Katy Perry. Did we talk about her last week? She's the one with the documentary, right? Or is she? I don't know anything. I am way out of touch. Like, I know a lot of you guys, like a lot of people want to be out of touch intentionally. I just unintentionally did it, which is good or a bad thing. You know, it's just kind of like, not like to avoid all that crap. All that poison on the TV, we're like, friggin' the person with the camera photo. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Basically, I don't know anything about music, about celebrities, about pop culture. Well, it depends which pop culture you talk about, though, because if it's animation, I'm alright, I guess. If it's, once again, Paranorman, man. Ugh. I said the word animation, I remembered the pinnacle of animation this year. You want to see Paranorman. I want to see it again. It's not for free as like a premiere thing. I want to pay. Look at that. Paying for movies these days? Definitely, though. Paranorman was a treat. It was a time. Check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And if you have seen it, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Hope you laughed. Hope you cried, as I did. That show's heavy. It ain't just some kids dribble. This ain't no hotel for dogs. This show's got feelings. It's got real issues. It's genuine. There you go. That's a good word for it. It's genuine. It's none of this like, it's a kids show, so we have to have all the characters dance at the end to contemporary popular music. It's nothing like that. If there's music, it means something. For a reason. Oh, God, Paranorman. Like, you might see the trailer and like, oh, it's about a kid and zombies. When's the animated series coming out? But, dude, you gotta watch it. It is the finest storytelling and animation I've seen this year. Have I seen anything else that was animated this year? That's a very good question. Outside of like the Miyazaki traveling show that was going on, like the TIFF Lightbox and stuff like that. We saw a bunch of those. What else did I see that was animated, movie-wise? Brave. Oh yeah. Why did that just fade from my memory? How unfortunate. Oh, mercy. Brave. Yeah. It was alright. Brave was nice. It was. I realized recently, like, I saw like a box of cereal or like cookies with Meredith's head on it. Like, she was there, but her head is just so weird. It's like this. She's got this mushroom head, or like, yeah. I didn't see the Pirates actually. That came out too. Didn't see that. And I enjoy Artemin. My favorite of the work has to be, of course, The Wrong Trousers. Wallace and Gromit with the penguin, who's disguised as a chicken, is a genius bit of storytelling. It's also very terrifying. Like, that penguin is freaky, and he's just got little beady eyes. The Wrong Trousers, classic Wallace and Gromit if you haven't seen it. I think it was like the only one we ever really owned because they had like one per VHS, which was the ideal way to sell episodic content. But it's definitely Paranorman though. I'm just saying. Those guys, 18 years in the making. 18. I don't know what I've been doing for 18 years. Love the thing with the map. I didn't see that. I'll have to check that out. What are you guys looking forward to? Is any of the movies coming out at all, like, this year? Like, I know summer's just about to end, and so they're like, well, let's stop making fun things. Like, I know the Avengers gag reel came out recently, and everyone's loving that. If you follow Tumblr, you'll see lots of clips from it. It's fun. It's silly. Ooh, I got a tweet. A twittery. A twitter doable do. Hey all, Shanahannigan's live is live, like, late night. It's Katie. I don't know why my accent changed. Gene says Paperman. Right. Should I continue, or should I switch accents? Ooh, hobbits! 4 hobbits! Yeah, man. That Lord of the Rings was a treat. Like, you guys may look back and be all like, oh, there's horses and swords, that's nice. But man, it was like every year you looked forward, like around November, it was like, oh, like forget about Christmas. A new Lord of the Rings is coming to theaters. It was a treat every year. I missed that. But now we get to have that again, because The Hobbit is apparently worth 3 movies now. There's one hefty long book. Quote from Peter Jackson was like, I regret cutting Tom Bombadil from the movie because he was such a great and important character. I don't want to do the same thing with The Hobbit, so we're stretching this bad boy. And we're going into the Silmarillion and all the shoe boxes for more content. Like, good on you, Jackson. It's like everyone how, like, the recent trend of all, like, I guess it kind of makes sense, but like how book series are always, the books keep getting damn bigger because the author gets more confidence or just has more pages. And thus, the final chapter, when it's adapted to the movie, they have to break it into 2 parts, a la Harry Potter, a la Twilight. And so it's always like, Breaking Dawn Part 2. So Jackson's just knocking this one out of the park, where he's like, screw you and your 2-parter chapter book movie. I'm breaking this into 3s. And I'm like, think if he did that to Lord of the Rings. I mean, 9 movies. If each book had 3 episodes to it. At this point, you just better make a mini-series or something. This is just getting crazy pants. Why not, though, eh? That'd be kind of fun. Because, you know, Game of Thrones is like a movie a night. Granted, sometimes an annoying movie about dragons. Or beautiful, annoying guys on a wall. Snow. And is complaining. But damn, like, every night Game of Thrones is a treat. You know, it's like, dude, if you got, you know, it was like what Lost was. You know, if you had the box set and you hadn't watched it yet, 4 episodes a night or something, that's like a movie, and it's like, man, TV is so good. Or awkward sex, says Hannah, no. Wait, you don't like that? That's like what makes the show. Without that, it'd just be like friggin', I don't know. I want to say something funny, but I got nothing. Once Upon a Time on ABC. Without the awkward... I don't know, I haven't seen that, actually. Plot. Oh, yeah. Game of Thrones, man. I can't get into it, because... No, I got into it. I just can't get into it here, because I will talk about it for a good long while. Because, man, that show... It's one of those things, like, when you... Only so many shows get me to that point where it's like... The season ends, and I realize... Oh, gosh. There's, like, nothing else filmed. I have to wait... like everyone else does with their favorite TV shows. Craziness. A lot of people excited, though. Doctor Who season was announced. I don't know the date, so I don't know why I brought this up. But hey, I'm still worth chewing my way through Eccleston, so no rush for me. I'll get there when I get there. Doctor Who, indeed. It's Community, which I'm looking forward to. Damn, that show. What else are you guys looking forward to? Yeah, you guys going to any conventions this weekend? Just feel free to tell me, because then I will have more things to tell. Oh gosh, I'm tired. I was up all night working on that episode. Hope you guys enjoy it. It's a little silly. It's not the greatest. Oh, why am I prefacing it like that? It's amazing. You're going to want to check it out. Shaggy Shan. YouTube. It's happening tomorrow or tonight. Was there anything else coming up that was production-wise? Another episode is coming up. If you heard us talking about a Quidditch match, that's in the next episodes. That'll be hopefully next week if I can get cut in time. Dr. Horrible 2 says TV Day. Looking forward to that. Sounds about right. Master Jill saying if there's a page where people find out about conventions, or does nothing happen in Florida ever? That's always weird to me when people hate on Florida, but I guess when you get older it starts to make sense. Because as a kid, when you hear Florida, you imagine Disney World, and nothing else. So all these years I thought like there was Canada, America, and Disney World. I didn't know Florida was like this elephant graveyard that everyone just hates, but apparently it is. That's why you should go to freaking California, because that's where Disneyland is. We're going to be doing that up at some point, because we haven't been to the... We've been to California Adventure, sort of. We made it for like the street rave when they're playing like the Upler remix, and you got your like glowing cups, and everyone's wearing Tron, even though the Tron movie wasn't even out yet, but they're all dressed as Tron. And I've been to that, and I've seen a lot of people's photos that make me jealous about being like, we went to the friggin' Radiator Springs, and like, to be clear, I hate cars, but still it looked really fun. We had hot dogs, street rave. Oh yeah. Well, no, because what we did was we had food, and we were in this place that was like connected to like the Muppets show ride, because I saw like a picture of Gonzo, and then we heard music and we're like, because it was like one of the Upler. It was either Upler or it was one of the other Pogo remixes, and we're just like, good! We just kind of ran outside with hot dog in hand so we could jam to the beats. And I'm just like, dude, as I've said before, we've all, you know, done our history lessons on Disney and his how awful of a man he was and all that good stuff with the Red Scare rallies and the sexism and racism and all that fun stuff. But once you get to Disneyland, that stuff just all melts away, and you're like, ah, yeah, the House of Mouse, I'm all about this. So go to Disney, or join us next year in Disney World. I think we're all going to Florida because it's cheaper than California for us. Yes, Florida. The drudgery, which Master Stealth doesn't seem to appreciate. You guys get like sunlight and alligators. What we got? We got nothing. All we have is Fan Expo and Anime North and Con Bravo and Video Games Live and live burlesque performances and video game costumes and Doctor Who marathons and outdoor film screen. We got nothing. Florida's the way. Gene, we should all go. Let's all go to Disney World one of these days, and we'll stay for 7 days, and we'll experience each park equally. That'd be kind of cool too, because then it's like every day's a new world. It's like Ariel, which is funny I mentioned that, because this next episode's about a Disney movie I'm working on. Anyway, you had it so hard, Shaggy. You damn right. I gotta apparently wake up for donuts tomorrow at like 8 in the morning. Can we go to Harry Potter Land? No. Okay, yeah, we can. I want to go just because I want to go to Dr. Zeus Land, because I want to be like, something's over here, and twistily-do over there. Because apparently all the signs and stuff are like as confusing as Dr. Zeus's life, his mind. Everything's all like, woobly-woo, and go this way if you want the googly-boo, and that way for the woobly-doo. And I'm just like, let's just go to Marvel Land. At least it sort of makes sense there. That'd be fun too. Let's all go. Let's all plan next summer. Be in Florida. As Master Cell says, funnest place on earth. Florida. Where Canadians go to hide from winter. We're going Disney World, baby. We're doing it large. We're all going to rent one hotel room and cram in there. We'll have shifts of who gets to use the sink. Shanahannigan's Con. There we go. And it's not... This is why Shanahannigan's Con is going to be the best con, because it's not grounded to no one hotel room or place. It's a moving con. It's more like a festival of fun. Shanahannigan's Con. That's a cool idea. Let's do it. That'd be pretty damn expensive, though, because like you expect like the first year a con's going to be like, oh yeah, it's going to be like $15 at the local Holiday Inn. No, it's going to be like $3,000 because of all the hotels and all the traveling you're gonna do. Oh shoot, Flux Fox. Talking about DanCon. Not yet, man. What's happening? But shh. Can't tell no one. That's gonna be a time. All I can say is gonna take you for a ride. Anyway. Fight the System says, oh dear me. We're almost as fun as Andromeda. DanCon. That's going to happen, so stay tuned to next summer. Because this summer, didn't really live it up. Kind of was broke. Didn't go to Comic-Con, even though we had a hotel right beside the con, facing the water. On the other side of the tracks. Would have been easy to go to events. Lining up would have been no problem. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if my exhibitor badge is like now over. Because like we didn't cancel it or nothing because we didn't know how to. I hope not. Not exhibitor badge, sorry. Pro badge. Because I thought like if you don't go a year, you're no longer a pro. And you're like, oh. Because the thing was like we only found out really late in the game we couldn't go to Comic-Con, which sucked. But, you know, such is the way of things. So we kind of like, I looked at the website and it's like, you can't get your cash back after May for your tickets. I'm like, well, we were pros, so we didn't pay for it in the first place. So I was kind of like, okay. Which sucks, though, because it throws in the face of all those nights of us being like, we gotta get the hotel room. We gotta get the guest badges. Like, we beat everyone. But still, it's over. So that's right, Master Stealth. I've had it rough. Only gone to San Diego Comic-Con twice in a row, but couldn't go 3 times in a row. 3's the real number. Oh, wellsies. Soon, when I make that robot show, we will be invited to Comic-Con as guests. We shall have the panels, and the audience will line up for me now. Someday. Maybe if I actually made more things. That's the goal of this year, make more things. This year's already started, it's almost over. Okay, let's figure this out. So summer's coming. No, summer's over. Where am I? Anyhoozle. 11 o'clock, how you guys feeling? I can keep going, because I got no life. But, I can quit right now and send you guys all to bed, if that's what you want. Give you all my graces. I only ever gone to 2 cons, said TV Dinner. Which cons? Tell me. When it's past 11, that's when I start losing my mind. Keep going, have to work to stay focused. Alright, we're going to play a game now. It's called Let's Cheer on Gene. And everyone's cheer has to rhyme. So, let's go, Gene. Next person. It could be like, we're on your team. We're trying to encourage Gene to work. You guys, you have to stick with it. We gotta keep those lines clean. Well done, Flex Fox. Alright. Vancouver. No! You guys are talking about conventions. We're trying to eat a bean. Thank you, Master Stealth. TV Dinner, I'm waiting on you now. It's 5 a.m. I have to sleep. Have an awesome time. Good luck, Gene. Alright, Hannah. We will catch up at some point. Send me a message. It's been too long. Gotta catch up. I have a bottle of ketchup in the fridge, but that's not what I'm talking about. We got to catch up. Make show earlier next time. Hey, if I didn't have to work 12 hours on a Wednesday, and a Tuesday, and a Monday, and on the Sunday as well, if I had a life, this show would be at 7 like it used to be, 7:30, when we were a young show. Alright, have yourself a time. Join us next week, usually at 7:30. Used to usually be at 7:30, then started 9 o'clock Eastern, and tonight was at 10. So, follow the Facebook if you want to find out when the next show is, but we'll see you around. We're still going. I'm just saying bye to Hannah. TV Rhythm with Gene. I'm so confused. Has really seen lean cuisine bean mean Dean. If your friend's named Dean, we can say, what's up with Dean? He's outside your window while you're working late. That's creepy. Keen. Prina Dog Chow. Show's still going low. Why are we rhyming with my name? We're cheering you on, Gene, because, like, well, for you, is it late? Like, you're on the West Coast, so you have 3 hours. 11, 10, 9, 8. 8 o'clock! Play Commander Keen. Yes. That would be obscene. It's 8:06. That always throws my mind to know that people live on different times like that. Like, it's not until you start traveling that I really appreciate that, because, like, you know, you show up and you're all like, it's like 11 o'clock for me, I'm wide awake, but it's like 8 and no one's awake. That happened when me and Katie were in San Francisco for Ape. I was going to call it Gorilla. Ape. We were in San Francisco, and we wanted to visit Japantown, because it's the coolest damn place in San Francisco. You definitely want to go. And we got there, and, like, the sun was kind of like at, you know, an angle here, and I'm like, oh gee, the sun's setting. It must be like 4 o'clock, and I'm like, it's 10 a.m. We just got here damn early. Oh well. Time difference in Montreal seems like a good 7 years. Does it? Dude, you're just like east of me. How's Montreal this time of year? Probably not too different from Ontario. Master Self says, face! Wish I could show you guys the chat, but I can't. I could if you joined us at the beginning of the show, Ustream was all like, no fun! And I was like, no, I just want to use Cam Twist so we can have a special guest on the show through Photoshop. It's like, no! No guests! I'm like, okay, Ustream. One of these days I'm gonna try Google Plus again, I swear. And fail as miserable as all the other attempts. Apparently Google Plus is less quality too, because they're all like, hey, you and 9 of your friends could chat at the same time and see all your faces. But due to that, I think they lowered the quality, because I watched like some clips of the Google Plus episode, and it's like, somehow Ustream looks better. That's amazing. Oh, wellsies. Use a mirror. It's one day whether use mirror, highly reflective object. What is going on? Ah, you guys lost me. Let's continue cheering on Gene. Something about a beam. There we go. Shanahan's VIP Club. What, this is? Or this is like the after show? There was no pre-show though, so I could call it that. Unless you're talking about Google Plus. Who's texting me at this hour? Or twittering me? Wonder if my family's watching me live at a cottage right now. If you are, send the word out. Listening to stand-up comedy at work. Wait, someone... Oh, they're just favoring what I said earlier. No, it's Katie. Katie, if you're awake, come on. Just some chats, know what I'm saying. It's live. This is going all night long. We're going to lose every member of the show to sleep. If you were Venom, you could crave spleens. I didn't know Venom went for spleen. You're talking about Spider-Man Venom, right? He always refers to himself in the third multiple person. So I was like, no, singular multiple. How does that work? Self-multiple. When someone refers to themselves as we, how do you, writer, come on, figure this out. What's the terminology of that when you refer to yourself as we and us? It's like self-verb, multiple, royal we. I don't know. Damn, it's complicated. It's not like Isis. We. Language is fun. What else did I have? Did I have anything else left on my chits and chats? On my chits and chats. On my chits and chats. I'm not even looking at things I'm supposed to be looking at. Here it is. Shanahan's Live. Nope. Here it is. Shanahan's Live. Did that. Nah, it's not interesting. I am plum tuckered out of things. Hey, how come Japanese toys are so much better than American toys? Do you mean Japanese themed toys or Japanese made toys? Because everything's made in China. If you mean better, though, this is pretty much the damn coolest thing. It's my Ken. And he's just kind of like, who's chilling? This guy. Yeah. This is pretty cool, too. It looks like Totoro, but it's not. This has now become the I'm showing you anything in my immediate vicinity. Let's play which one is counterfeit. This awful Pokemon or this awful Pokemon. I'll let you guess. Wrong. They both suck. Man. What's going on? I'm glad you guys could join us so late. What are you guys even doing up this late? Where are you all from? Are you guys all got your time zones messed up so you just kind of keep going? I know Fluxbox is like maybe an hour. Are you even an hour ahead in Montreal? Do you even get that luxury, or do you gotta start going East Coast before you get time changes? Does anyone know anything about Nova Scotia? Lunchtime here, says Proto Wilson. Really? That's interesting. So you're on lunch break, or do you just watch shows on the computer always? Maybe. East Coast is interesting. I haven't been out there in a while. Canada is an interesting freaky deaky place. Because a lot of you guys see the videos and you're like, oh, the CN Tower, a mountain, and a bear. Good, I got it. So much more to it, though. Canada has this East Coast with a bunch of places called Newfoundland, PEI, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. It's all part of the song. That's how we memorize the whole country. I doubt the States has a song for every state. Let's just run you through it for the Canadian one. It goes, the provinces of Canada are fun to remember. fun to remember. I swear we sang this before in the show. Anyway, Newfoundland and PEI, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, Quebec, Ontario, and then you see Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, and the territories which we don't talk about. And that's the song we learned in school. So I've only been out that way a few times. No, once. Before. To PEI, the home of the ginger girl, Anna Green Gables. Her house was green, supposedly. Interesting place, and all I remember of PEI was we were in this burger joint that had, like, Archie characters on the wall because it was all like, soda shop! And that's all I remember about PEI, so well done, Canada. It's like a really big island. Because it's Prince Edward's Island. Don't mess with that guy. He'll mess you up. The time difference in Montreal seems like a good 7 years. That is an old comment. Why is that coming up now? 50 nifty United States. Is that a song? How's it go? The Americans do a song about states and capitals. Let's see if I can make it up. Dun 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 dun. We've got Illinois. We've got Florida, which is fun. We've also got California. And San Francisco's there too. California. We've got Washington. We've got Washington also, but it's in DC. There's 2 New Yorks. One's in New York. And from there you see Nevada. Denver's in Colorado. And God, someplace has a grotto. That's all the states of America. So there you go. That's the American song. Oh yeah, Oregon. You guys have that. It's pretty good. I should know that because I enjoy Portland. You know what? Let's rename that song. My favorite things about Oregon. Da 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 da. There's Donut Place, and that's the song. Voodoo Donuts in Portland, Oregon. Check it out. They put Oreo cookies on their donuts. And they have lots of bridges. Like 3. No one has that many bridges. Interesting also in San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge doesn't really take you anywhere interesting. So you kind of go on it, then you go, well, crap. I gotta go back. Fascinating city, though, San Francisco, if you've ever been. Depending where you stand and what time of day, you get to see things emerging from the mist. Golden Gate Bridge sticking out of the clouds when you're on top of that hill with a big pole that you have to pay to go up, so forget that. I just wanted the water. Where's everyone else live? Like, I'm always curious about that, if anyone else has any concept of the breakdown of a country, because we always think it's like, England! Tea time! Harry Potter! But, like, to break it down into all its finer... What does England have? No, not like content-wise, but how do they break up their country? Because we're like, we got provinces, you guys down there got states, England's got, like, counties! Or something like that, don't they? Oh, no. Oh, there we go! Pro Wilson said counties, so it must be true. I just made that up, because it sounded cute. But yeah, you guys like rock your counties. But can you name them in a song? And go. Dun 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 dun. Pro Wilson, sing, damn you. Ooh, did I just get a new follower? Let's all welcome Erica Eins, Nerd Girl Comedy, for adding me to Twitter. If you're on the show, I reassure you it's a lot better than this normally, because Katie's here and she draws things. Right now she's on a beach, and I am not. You could say willfully, because I get stare crazy when I'm out in, like, you know, the relaxing places. I can go for like a day or two and be like, oh, this is nice, let's have marshmallows. When you're there for a week, and everyone's just lying around, reading, and you're like, let's play, and they're like, no. Mr. Gray is going to do something in this book, and I'm very curious about it. And they're like, ugh, no one wants to do anything in cottage country. Man, no one knows the counties of England. Interesting, interesting. They once ran the world. You know, the sun never set on the British Navy. It was literal, because they ran everything. But here, we can't even sing about them. They don't go well in a song. Oh, I beg to differ. Master Cell says beach, beach, or beach lake. Beach, beach. Beach lake. Pa. That's called a dock. I don't know. Does anyone? I can name the different counties that make up the UK. All right, let's do this. Gene, name me some counties. And let's put down some bets right now. At least 3 of them are going to have Chester at the end, like Dorchester, or Hamchester, or Newchester. England, Wales. Wait. Is this what you're talking about? Oh, I thought no. I'm not talking about like, you know, like Northern Ireland and stuff. I'm talking about like if you broke up England. All right. I live in Canada. It is a country. I live in Ontario. It is a province. I live in Toronto. It is a city. Does England have that breakdown where it's like England, friggin' tea time, Chester, and then Crumpetville? I'm just being horrible because it's after 11 o'clock. I love me some England, but I don't know nothing about them. They're nice enough folks, though. Scotland. Ugh. No. There you go. Worcestershire. Done. This is what I want. This is what we're here for. Some of these sexy names. Manchester. See? Chester. Ha. Sussex. Yeah. 83 counties. Liverpool. Liverpool's my favorite. I think. Is that where the Beatles came from? We already talked about Yellow Submarine, so we're done with that. London? I guess, like, would they break it down just to cities then? Or is London in something? Like, we have a London here in Ontario called London, Ontario. Do they have, like, a London something, or is it just London? Or is it because the construct of Europe is, since countries are smaller, they don't need the provinces or the states? Because it's just ludicrous to do that. Because, like, maybe that's the case. Because Canada's pretty damn big. We don't use any of the space. Like, come on over if you want to hang out in Canada, because we got, like, fields and stuff you can just grab and no one will notice. Ugh. No lack of lumber, I say. Greater Lond. There are 2 Londons. I think Liverpool is part of Great Manchester. It's a shame my British buddy Matt isn't here on the show, because he could correct me and be horribly offended at the same time. Oh, wellsies. If you want to hear from him, check out the episode of Talking to the Microphone. Right, it was actually our TCAF episode, technically, so we got some guests on there, too. We got Matt from England. Mm-hmm. She has huge tracts of lands as Master still. Gene, how's the project going? Am I distracting you or enabling you? Because I could keep going. I should probably stop, though, because I want to upload that episode for you guys to check out. But by then, you'll probably just be sick of my voice, because I'm just kind of rambling. Keep on jibber-jabbering. Boo. Unless someone wants to throw out a quick topic. Will you be at Fan Expo on Thursday? I just got a question on the Twitter. Man, I got a lot of these tweets going on right now. What's going on here? No one tweets me. This is crazy. You can follow me at Shaggy Shan if you want. But damn, I am popular tonight. There's this thing called Wub Creative, spelled with a K, like Mortal Kombat, and Wub spelled like you'd expect. And the question is, will you give us an interview? And I'm not sure if that means I interview them or they interview me. It's like, give me your interview. And like, because I think I'm better at... This is something I discovered when I was in the, at least from my perspective, horribly awkwardly placed in the panel at VanCaf. The comedian panel, or the funny-ass comic writers. Join an hour of chuckles with the funniest comic writers. I'm like, oh god, I am in the wrong place. For some reason I was on that panel. Because I think I'm not as good being asked questions, because that means you gotta have like the witty, funny response like right then and there and get a rise out of the audience. But I prefer hosting, because then I can like contrive how things turn out, and that's partly why I tend to do the podcast once in a while, because it's just kind of fun to like only have a few vague ideas of questions, but then like run with what they got and like learn how to like gear the conversation, or like how to, you know, make some callbacks and some jokes, some silly business. I'm sad I missed that panel. I'm happy, because no one should have seen it. Not the other guys are great. They all know what they're doing, but I was just up there just like, I've been awake all weekend. This is the last panel of the day. I'm not a funny guy. Like, on demand. Like, if you told me to tell a joke, you'd be like, oh, gosh. Okay. Actually, I'm seriously trying to think of one. I can't. Uh, so two guys walk into a bar, and one of them says, "I'll have what he's having," and he says, "I didn't order yet, idiot." I don't know. At least I amuse myself. Oh well. There you go. See, jokes are hard, man. And I feel bad about complaining about comedians earlier in the show. But then the question was, were they telling jokes or just complaining? Because I can complain about jokes. But, thank you, Master Stealth. I'm not here all night because I should go to sleep soon. How do we get to this topic? Yeah, point being, someone apparently just texted me or tweeted me to be in an interview. I have no idea what for. But I'd be more interested to actually interview them, maybe. Be like, why do you want to interview me? Tell me more about yourself. Gosh, what some of the things I was thinking of doing. Since this is like Shaggy's Life Hour, which is kind of like the regular show, because I'm always just yapping. I should talk less during the show and let Katie like teach you guys. Actually, let's do a poll while Katie's not here. Pretty sure she's not here. So if we can like segment the would you rather we have less chits and chats on the regular Shenanigans Live about like things I hate, and be more like, let's talk about arts and the artistic techniques, and let's get a nice little close-up shot of some little drawings and things like that. Would you rather it to be the learning show I keep claiming Shenanigans Live is, because this is a learning show, of course. Would you rather that, or are you cool with the kind of me yelling at you guys all the time? Because that's like the truth of the matter is I got not much else to do on the show if I'm not just complaining about things, because I don't draw and I can't teach people to write because I feel writing is something that comes from within. Like I can try to teach you English if that's the barrier to your writing, but beyond that, it's like I'm kind of weird when it comes to the writings. I don't want to say I'm a weird guy, but it's like because last week's episode we talked about when you say you're weird, you're an asshole, because you're like, everyone, I'm a weirdo, and they're like, no, he's not. He's just saying that. But when it comes to like writing, I was always kind of opposed to a lot of the teachings in our English classes, where it's like, you gotta have the rising action here, and the falling action here, and the denouement. And I'm like, okay, great. So everything's stuck to a pattern. And what I kind of gradually realized, and I guess what the true teaching of all that is this isn't the law of how you're supposed to write a story. It's just most commonly that's how things kind of naturally feel good to us to turn out. And as such, when we have things that do it backwards, it's like, oh, it's shocking and different. But ironically, even when things like Memento come out and they try to do it backwards, forwards direction, it's not like the rising action is over here and here now. The narrative as a whole is still done in the beats. Like, the only movie that would actually be, like, throwing the whole story arc on its head is if the movie started with, you know, the guy being like, now I could finally have peace and accept myself. And then the next scene, he has a big fight with the giant robot, and then the movie ends with him just going to buy some tea. And it's like, I guess that was like kind of the backwards order, but then could you still say, even though I intentionally tried to flip it, it still follows the same thing, because the rising, I don't know. It's tricky. Well, you know, like all those things, like you got the Hero of 100 Faces and things. I've never read it, and I feel like I should, but I'm always worried that like it's good to have knowledge, but I fear the concept of, you know, having to be in a mold of some sort. And that's kind of what school really only did. Like, they only taught you, this is how it ends, and let's talk about English class, and this means this, and this is symbolic of that, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that's great. I just like the loosey-goosey approach. If I was to have a school for writing, it would be the loosey-goosey school of writing and freehand caricature drawing. I don't know. But it's storytelling, I guess we all have a natural feel for it. It's in a certain way. Like, we all feel if something's kind of wrong or boring or paced poorly, but I don't think we all have to be so conscious of the rising action, the climax, the falling action. Even though, you know, they're like, oh, all the top 100 movies actually follow this the pattern exactly. I'm like, good for them. Ugh. Anyway, that's my thought on writing. So to go back to the original question, yeah, that's why I just yell at you guys on every episode of Shanahan's Live, because I just can't really, I don't have much to teach. Like, if I had a screen capture, I can teach you guys After Effects if you were interested. I'd be like, this is how you keyframe and easy ease. Which I'm not sure how interesting that would be unless it was like my take on it. Like a weird tutorial. Kind of like, if you want that, you can check out You Suck at Photoshop. It's a series of videos where a guy is teaching you Photoshop, but there's like a whole depressing backstory going along with it, and he's just like a miserable guy who's always criticizing you for trying to learn Photoshop and stuff. Very interesting. So yeah, you know, yeah. I like a good balance between education and random silly chats. I love those videos. Yeah, they're good stuff. But when I do the art learning, someone talking about the art learning, so it keeps jumping around thing like, but then I do the art learning thing like all the time. Well, I guess so. I just feel bad because whenever like we cut to Katie cam, she's always being like, and then like you just go quiet. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know. I'm not gonna be like, oh, did you use contours on that? Like I just don't know what to say when it comes to the art. So that's why I just kind of like shut up as soon as we go to Katie cam, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, okay, back to me. So anyway, Avatar. That was a horrible ending. Yeah. It's just that's my knowledge base, I guess. I don't really know anything about drawings. But definitely, if you guys like want more drawing teaching, you can like try to cater more to that if you want the learnings. The other half too is because Katie's computer's messed up, and for some reason the camera keeps freezing if it's on too long. So that's why I would keep jumping back to the wide shots. I have been yapping for an hour and a half, man, with no like audible response. This is kind of like a weird training technique. Let's see if you can deal with solitary. I like the casualness of this show, like this particular one or the series. It means I can work on what I need to work on without worrying I'll miss something. If you mean this particular episode, then fine. But if you mean the whole show, I'm like, I put in a damn bunch of effort into like planning what we're going to talk about. The series. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, don't worry. You're not going to miss nothing important, You can just walk away right now and go get a sandwich. Oh, yeah, just go. Don't worry, we're not talking about anything. Okay, guys, while Creepy Porpoise is gone, this is how you're going to win prizes on Shanahan's Live. You have to write to Twitter now and say, give me prizes, and you get your prizes right away. Okay. Hey, Creepy Porpoise, you back with your sandwich? Oh, the show's not too important. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, this show ain't no tutorial show. I'm not saying that. It's not a step-by-step. First, what you want to do is, this is very important. If you miss this, your life is over. What's coming up? I'm going to be running out of things to talk about soon. And I got to upload some episodes, so I should probably start wrapping things up. Conventions, of course, are happening. Fan Expo, if you're in Toronto this weekend, Fan Expo is starting tomorrow. It is now a 4-day-long event, so it's almost like a real convention. Nah, it's always been a real convention. I just don't know why they needed Thursday, because it makes me be like, I can't go Thursday. But it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's video games, there's comics, there's special guests, there's movies, TV shows. Stuff is actually premiering. I think they're premiering that Abrams series where it's like, there's no more electricity, but one guy has a USB key with electricity. And so that's like the new show. So that's premiering apparently, which is super duper exciting. Check that out. Here's a topic: Superman and Wonder Woman's new relationship. Discuss. Hell, you tell me. Last thing I knew about those DC comics was awkward rooftop sex. That's where I began and ended with the New 52. So, if you like, truth be told, I read the first of the Action comics where it's like Superman. It was actually pretty awful because it's like the whole thing was about Superman writing articles about himself. I'm like, well, that's great. And he's like, Superman's the greatest by Clark Kent. And then Lois is like shacking up with some other guy, and he's like, "Oh, the cape does this to me," and he's being mopey like he's Spider-Man or something. So I have no idea what's happened since then. But if it's like, forget Lois, it's all about me and Wonder Woman. So good on them. I always thought they do better together. Because Lois, like, she's Lois. She does her thing. She's great. But like Wonder Woman, like these guys are basically gods on Earth, so they may as well hang out together. I always thought it was kind of neat because if you read Kingdom Come, which I think is one of my favorite DC comic, like those Elseworlds or Outworlds, whatever they call it, like the alternative reality stuff. But Kingdom Come is fucking, sorry for swearing, but it's brilliant. I just really enjoy how it's kind of set in the golden era comics now. So it's not like Batman is 30 forever, like he's in friggin' Family Circus or something. But it's like they're all old now, and now we're catching up with and this is like set in the '90s, in the concept that Superman was Superman in like the '60s or '70s, and he's with, every now and then he's always hanging out with Wonder Woman because they're both like gods who live forever. Not forever, but a lot longer than humans. So it's interesting. And they make a decent pair, I guess. But like the weird thing was in the animated Justice League, they always try and like match up Wonder Woman with Batman instead. I think because like Superman was too dumb. He's always like saving people. Like he's like because they keep on referring to him as the Boy Scout. Like and it's kind of hard to sometimes if you write him a certain way just to be like the same thing kind of actually happened in and what's it called? Marvel comic, the Ultimates, which is basically the Avengers, but the Ultimate Avengers. And like the Bug Lady starts dating Captain America, but then she starts realizing he's just like this old guy who like he's basically an old man in a young man's body. He's always like, let's go to the friggin' Glenn Miller is playing tonight, I think, And she's like, oh, want to go to the club? And he's like, oh, but the talking pictures are starting soon. And she's like, enough of this guy. And I feel like the same thing can happen to Superman pretty easy. When it's just like, I gotta save things. It's like, you're boring, Clark. Ugh. So yeah, him and Wonder Woman at least understand each other. They're great. I have no idea. They can kiss if they want. I'm not offended. Let's see. The cover was them kissing, and I drew Batman perving on them. That's pretty funny. I have to see that. Have you posted that on your Tumblr? I have to check that out. Batman is like Santa. He's always watching. He knows if you've been bad or good, but you get batarang instead of call. Bruce Timm said it was like the lead cheerleader getting with the quarterback. Sure. Yeah, why not? Like, yeah. I don't know. DC's just doing what they do. I know there's that weird controversy recently when it was the DC Super BFFs series was like not being continued, and they're like, it's hard to sell shows to girls. And everyone's like countering it with like, well, look at ponies. That's as far as I read into it. So if you know any more details on that matter, it's a strange quote, but no, I thought like Teen Titans kind of like served both audience well enough. I figured it had that kind of anime following, and I haven't seen really any of the new Teen Titans Go stuff, but the brief clip of the 3D movie was pretty cute. That was funny. I have to check that out at some point. I feel so behind because ever since like DC started doing all these weird shorts and stuff and mixture with Warner and like Mad Magazine and like all these different artists and styles, like I haven't really seen any of them. There's Superman Baby and stuff, and it's like this whole movement of DC actually being more interesting than they normally are. And there's like a robot chicken thing, so I don't know. Kind of fell behind on that. Fell behind on a lot of things. Only so many spaces for so many things. 11:35. Still talking. Shoulders hurting. Should get sleeping soon. That's my chair creaking because it's old. Wonderful. Super. Let's see what else is going on in this thing. I have to go to sleep. Says Warner Herman Robin. I have all the details on that. I have to check that out. All right. We can start wrapping up because I want to start getting that episode online, and I also want to get a decent hour's sleep before my next 12-hour shift. Yay! Whew. Excellent. This weekend, of course, Fan Expo's happening. Go to Toronto, check it out. It's going to be a fun time. There's also, of course, the Busker Fest will be happening just a little east of there, over in the distillery. Nope, not in the distillery district. That other district. St. Lawrence Market area. Good times. Bring a stepladder. It's hard to see people performing and things in a crowd. As I've been saying all episode long, new episode of Talking to the Camera coming out in the next few hours or tomorrow, depending on what time and what world you live in. Check it out. Creep Porpoise is jealous of all our conventions. You better be. And it's funny you say that because next week's episode, if it's released next week, of Talking to the Camera, addresses the concept of being jealous about events. So keep an eye on that. Hopefully it'll be out. And as I said, the fabled Quidditch thing will be there too, hopefully. We'll see. Because this weekend's going to be busy. We got the cons, We got the horrible movie night, which I talked about at the beginning of the episode. You can check that out. Make your own horrible movie nights to end summer. Celebrate in a bad way or a good way, depending on how you look at it. Anything else in my house I can look at? Probably not. The book is, of course, Silly Kingdom. I have it in my house somewhere. You know I end the show. You know this is how I end the show, because I gotta sell them books. Gotta sell them books. No, I'm dropping things. Silly Kingdom, of course, is the book. It is nominated for things. Joe Shuster Award, Dragon Award. That's coming up in September. So we'll find out if this nominee is more than just a nominee. Be sure to get a copy at sillykingdom.com. You buy it on digital for $4. Buy it on physical. Get it signed by the artist und the writer. $10 gets shipped to you, and you can own it and read it in locations that don't require electricity. That's right. We've mastered the analog technologies of literature. The other book, of course, is Cautionary Tales and Fairy Tales. It's over on the shelf. I don't want to get up again. I'm tired. Check out Cautionary Tales and Fairy Tales at CFFT. Big Cartel. Want to pick up that book? We got a story in it called Tatterhood, amongst many other fun and educational stories from fairy tales and folk tales from all over the worlds. That passed the Bergen test. The Bergen test. Is that the test where it's like female characters talking and not about a man? I don't think I didn't if we passed, we didn't like consciously do it. That's just how we write, because we're naturally good writers. Anyhoozle. Well, I think maybe not this as much, but Tatterhood definitely. Like, it's all female characters. Like, they're rocking the cast. So like, just read that, man. Done. Check out Tatterhood. Check out Cautionary Tales and Fairy Tales. Is there anything else? The Twitter, of course, is Shaggy Shan. You want to check that out. The Tumblr, it's also Shaggy Shan, but it's called Shaggy's Mind Sauce. If you want to find out what I find humorous or interesting or unique as far as videos, pictures, and imagery, I don't post it on the Twitter. I only post it there because there's only so many things you can tweet in a day. You can keep track of all that good, funny stuff. I retweet art and pictures. No, Tumblr, blah, reblog. It's all over there. It's fun. It's great. The Facebook page, of course, is Shanahanigans. You want to go there because that's where you're going to get all your latest updates until we get a real website working with some sort of blog interface. We've claimed to be working on one for like 2 years, and now we actually are, sort of. It's going to be great. We're going to re-upload the comics and everything. It'll be fun. Fun for everyone. Ask for my prize via Twitter already. Ah, crap. I'm not going to promise things anymore. It's impossible to keep up. I still have to do like another Gears of War book on tape. Oh, gosh. And hey, speaking of which, if you want another chapter of Shaggy Reads Twilight, which can be found over at uberfriendship.com, find me a charity that allows me to monitor the donation process, but not in any way touch the money, because I don't want to be involved. But if there's a way I can see what you guys have donated, if you want new chapters, I usually have $25 donations towards said charities. If there's one coming up that allows me to monitor the process and prove that you did it, I might make more chapters, because you know what, we're up to 13 chapters. Why not go for home run? And that's not a pun because they play baseball. I haven't got to that chapter yet. I have no idea if they play baseball well. I may change it for all you know if I do it. Anyway, that's entirely up to you guys, because I do not make things if no one wants to listen to them. So if you want Shaggy Reads Twilight, you gotta do the work. Gotta find me that charity. Gotta donate to it. Beyond that, I think it's just about everything. I got nothing left in my mind. So with that said, have yourselves a excellent night. Gene, stop slacking. Get cracking on the work. And can we get Shaggy Reads Hitchhiker's Guides as Flux? It's funny because I recorded the first chapter with a friend of the actual script book, which is actually fun, and did nothing with the audio. So one of the many lost projects you'll never hear. Good. Justice League topic. Oh, you guys are trying to add more topics? No, the show ends right now. See ya.